Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. We are playing World of Warships Legends tonight, like we've done many nights before. So we are playing on the map Shatter and its domination, which is pretty typical here. So it's basically a shrunk down map of some of the higher tiers that you would normally see. And we are in the Rattlehead. So this is the Megadeath themed ship. And in order to get this ship, so this is fairly new, so this is probably still available if you're watching this video with somewhat recently from when I've published it here. But basically, to get this Megadeath ship, it's basically another one of the tier 4 American cruisers like the Omaha or something. But so it's very equivalent. It's not a huge deal other than it's got a cool paint job and this cool little dude sitting in the front. Of course it's Megadeath themed. But what you really would want is the, so when you get this ship, and you gotta go to the store, so you gotta go to either your like PlayStation or Microsoft store, and what you want to do is, you have to search for a specific thing. Like this was hard to find, like it wasn't just part of a normal add-on like you would normally see. But basically if you search for Welcome to the End Game, and I'll try and remember to put that in the comments, but Welcome to the End Game. So search for that in the store, and there will be a free download, a free add-on for the game, which will get you this ship, and then you will get a mission associated with that too, and that's what you want to complete. It's a little bit challenging because, like this ship kind of sucks. Like I struggled with some of these earlier American cruiser ships, because if you get hit in the side by an AP round, like one of them, you just die. So it's a little bit of a challenge, which was kind of fun, but so what you want to do is, the mission you get is to get 10 wins in this ship, right? So then once you get 10 wins in this ship, you get 2, Megadeath band themed, commander geises, and then when you equip those geises, so I have one equipped now, basically the music for the game changes when you're playing with one of these guys, and we've got another person here right in front of us playing as this Megadeath themed ship, the Rattlehead. Yeah, so then you get the fancy the shell round tracers, where you get the colored bullets and stuff like that. So that's all in fun, and then of course like a unique voiceover as well for like the commentary as you're playing the game, right? So all fun, all fun stuff to work towards. So I always appreciate it when there's stuff like this within the game, because occasionally you can get bored. You know what? I take that back. Shooting guns is at other ships. Shooting big guns at other ships is never boring, right? But yeah, so we're playing this game, and we are trying to capture this zone, and we're just having really bad luck with the movement of these other ships around us, trying to get decent shots. So we only have 1100 damage done with our couple of rounds that we've actually hit on ships. So everyone seems to be hiding and evading us. But at the same time, I am kind of doing the same exact thing. So it's somewhat my own fault. But yeah, this guy, I kind of assumed he was going to be sending torpedoes at me too, so I immediately slowed down and started to angle away from him. And I'm shooting AP, but I'm getting really annoyed that they're just all ricochets, so at this angle you don't want to shoot AP at their hull, you want to aim higher, but that's why I wasn't doing hardly any damage to him, right? So at this Queen Elizabeth, it's a little bit different of a scenario. We are actually getting some penetrations and actually doing a little bit of damage with the AP, but this is another thing with this game, like experimentation is huge. If you're not a super techie into the game, into examining every ship's armor and stuff like that, for the most part, what I do is I'll shoot AP broadside at the hull, and if it's not doing good damage, if I'm playing as a cruiser, if it's not doing the greatest amount of damage, then I will switch to the explosive fireball type shells here which is what we've done. So then you just want to aim a little bit higher on the ship. You know, shoot for the stacks, shoot for the bridge, shoot for things that are above the hull, and you'll get more damage that way. And then potentially light them on fire, which will get you that damage over time effect, that DOT. That can be really, really valuable, especially as playing as a cruiser, because against battleships, you'll get them to use their damage control, which has a longer cooldown than destroyers or cruisers, right? So they will burn longer. So if you can get a fire going on somebody, they'll use their damage control, then do another fire after that, right? So then you can get longer burn time and get more damage over time on that. So we're playing a little bit aggressively here at this point. We've got this zone captured. So I'm just kind of going right in for this Queen Elizabeth. They're not even paying attention to me, so I'm taking full advantage of that, making sure I can, I'm angled broadside. Like if they were to look back at me and shoot AP at me, I would probably die. Like this ship is weak when it comes to taking AP shells in the broadside, like in the hull at the side, So but because they're not looking at me, I can tell by the direction that their guns are pointed, they're not paying attention to me. So I'm taking full advantage of that, getting as much bullets on them as I can. I'm kind of weaving back and forth here so that I can launch torpedoes from, both sides, just taking full advantage of the firepower of my ship. Whereas, like, if a different scenario where they were actually looking at me, I'd be losing this fight easily. Easily, I'd be losing this fight if they were paying attention to me. But they're not, so I'm taking advantage. But yeah, if they were looking at me, I either would have not come around that corner, I would have stayed under cover of the island, or you're going to want to kind of point towards them, So this Fubuki, this destroyer, it looks like I'm still shooting towards the Queen Elizabeth, but I'm trying to take out this destroyer if I can, just because I know that they're going to go down faster just because they're spotted. This game is sort of a rock, paper, scissors mentality, right? So, like, I've said this several times, but, like, destroyers are really good at taking out battleships. Battleships are really good at taking out cruisers, and cruisers are really good at taking out destroyers. So, I went for I went where I was most valuable there, basically. And that's kind of like a good theme for this game, right? Go where you're most valuable, shoot where you're going to do the most damage. So, I felt most valuable shooting at that Fubuki, shooting at that destroyer, so that's what I did at that moment. I had torpedoes going at the Queen Elizabeth. I was going to be able to shoot them plenty more after that Fubuki, after that destroyer died, so that's kind of where I went with that. And what's funny is, like, I did all this damage against everybody, like, 50,000 damage on a tier 4. Like, that's a pretty good game, right? But I have no kills. But yeah, so this Pensacola is a broadside to us, and broadside AP shells into a cruiser can pretty frequently be detrimental. So we got the Citadel hits against him, finished him off, and that finished us for the game. So that's where we landed on that one. I gotta go back. I was like too quick to like mash buttons, so I'm going back here and looking at what our score was and where we sit on the leaderboard. So we only placed third, but like I feel like we did the right things for that game. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. More World of Warships Legends games will be posted soon, so make sure to subscribe. Thank you.